Previously on Almost Better Than Dragons. Today's date marks roughly the 100-year anniversary of the declaration of peace among all three continents. The continents had been at war for many hundreds of years. A gentleman walks in. He takes the firewater that the bartender gave him, and he takes a sip.
Are you okay?
Can I get a water here? I could really use it now. He's really starting to make a scene here.
Yeah, I'm like standing up and drawing my sword up.
The bartender sort of feels his neck, like looking for a pulse, and he's dead.
I look up at he's dead?
He's dead. So he says, I haven't seen one of those in a very long time.
What was it exactly?
That, my friend, is one of the crag. So we were in a graveyard, and Lademan and Pangeon just watched in awe as Da'ani froze the ground. And Pangeon says, "Oh no, I'm gonna have a hell of a time digging through all that frozen dirt now. Thanks a lot."
Wasn't it Pangeon?
It's pretty much superficial. It probably shouldn't take you that long to get through it.
Yeah, he says my strength modifier is -2, so it's gonna take me all day. Thanks a lot. Lademan sort of says, "Now that's really interesting that it sort of glows like that, and you know it almost seems like these are receivers for some sort of magical energy." And I think Ku-Ruk said, "Why is one black and why is one white?"
Because Michael Jackson hasn't made a song about it yet.
See, it's too easy not to make a joke about.
God damn it.
Lademan says, it's probably a little too early to tell. I mean, we don't really know even why they have these, beyond obviously keeping the illusion going.
Here, I have a suggestion. Let's find another one of these bodies and see what color that cube is. And that way we know if there's only 2 colors.
Fair enough. Where do you propose we're going to find another one of these bodies?
There was only 2?
I mean, we saw one at the market, and you guys saw one at the tavern.
I'm assuming this is happening all over. We'll just keep it in mind.
Let's we need to go wherever she lived. We need to find wherever she lived, and we need to talk to her son and whoever her spouse was.
I bet her son's got a cube.
Possibly break the news that she passed away.
You want to get that son's cube?
You know it.
Oh, God.
And we're probably going to need to bring the cube with us.
Lademan says, "All right, off to the Trickfoot residence then. That was her last name, Tina Trickfoot. That wasn't her name. Hold on.
Yes, it was. That was fucking fantastic.
Tina Trickfoot.
I thought it was
Let me generate a name.
Tina Tricksfoot.
Her name is Tina Trickfoot. We're gonna go to
Descendant
her
of
house.
Loki, possibly.
Descendant of Loki, yeah. So you guys sort of make your way back across town, and at the intersection with the tavern, you go to the south. Down that street a ways, you make a few turns, and you wind up in front of a house next to a small plot of land. And there's a few carts that are sort of parked in front of the house. There's some horses tied up to a post that's sort of there. You go inside. Tina's husband Elward is sitting there, and he's just sobbing. He's in tears.
Wait, is his name Elward, or is his name the Elward?
His name is just Elward. I'm not even making these up. I'm just using a website. Just for the record, Elward, like Edward, but with an L.
Oh, I
Minus
thought.
the C.
Elward Trickfoot.
Elward Trickfoot.
Or were they forward thinking? Did he have his own?
I'm waiting for Bren's weird pun.
I thought it was lesbian Trickfoot.
It's on Fantasy Bravo.
This derailed,
so-
got rerailed, and then unrailed again.
So there's a cleric sort of standing over who you understand to be Elward, and there's some children sort of curled up with their arms around their knees on a bed, and it's a very solemn scene, and Elward is being comforted by the cleric, and the children are clearly just dumbstruck.
Are they at like a table or something, or are they just like, what are they?
So Elward is sitting in a chair that's a wooden chair sort of next to a table, and it's sort of pulled away from the table a little bit, like somebody sort of said, we need to like sit down and talk. Something's happened.
And wait, you said something about children. I thought they only had one offspring.
Child. Fine.
Okay.
Okay.
We should check them for marks.
No, I was just wondering how many. It's the one kid. Aren't we here for that kid?
Well, let's first talk to the husband.
Okay.
So the Elward is sort of sitting there, face in his hands.
All right.
And he hears you come in, and he, sort of looks up, and you can see there's tears running down his face.
I approach, put my hand on his shoulder, and say,
I'm sorry for your loss.
Who are you?
The Crypt Keeper. Voice like that.
I'm a traveling man that has concerns for why this happened to your wife. And I was wondering if you could help us with any questions.
Absolutely. I don't know. How could this have happened?
Honestly, we're not sure ourselves, but we're here to see if we can gather any information to get to the bottom of what caused this, and so other people don't suffer the way you have.
What do you need to know?
Kid.
Get Cruelman over here. We would specifically would like to speak.
I'm right here. I'm standing right next to you.
Okay, well, Cruelman,
He's got terrible sight.
Cruelman, talk to the kid.
Krulaman sort of walks over and sits down next to this little girl. You can't really hear what he's saying from a distance, but you can tell that he's sort of talking like you talk to a child, and just saying nice things and trying to be very comforting. The little girl is sort of looking down at the floor, and you can see Krulaman sort of lean back a little bit and look at the back of the girl's head, and her hair is up in like a ponytail. And he turns back to you, and he shakes his head no.
All right. I kneel down next to the husband who's sitting in the chair, and I tell him, truly, we're sorry for the loss that you've felt today. I have a question about something that was recovered from your wife's body, and I pull out the cube.
He said, where did you get that?
She had it on her person. We don't know exactly what it does, but we were hoping you could shed some light on the subject for us.
She had that when I met her. It's always been something she had. She said it was a family heirloom.
Did she ever talk about, like, in depth where this family heirloom came from? Like, who had bestowed it upon her from her family?
No, not at all. She never talked about it. I'd always assumed it was some sort of touchstone or piece of jewelry or lucky sentiment
DreamWorks,
of some kind.
Lucasfilms.
We've
Sorry, how does this relate to her death?
Well,
From what we can tell, we think these cubes have something to do with this because we found somebody else who also passed away that had a cube on their person. So, we are sorry for disturbing you and taking your time. We will let you grieve, but we will certainly let you know if we come up with any more information. You've been extremely helpful.
You look over, and Krulaman has, out of his pocket, pulled what looks like a big ball of lint, like dryer lint. And he pulls it out of his pocket, and sort of off to the side, he like squishes it up in his hands, and you notice that it's sort of turned into this like a little doll, like almost like the size of like a voodoo doll, but not a voodoo doll. And it's sort of in the shape like a little child's toy. And he gives it to the girl. She takes it and sort of hugs it against her chest, and he stands up and sort of nods at Elward, and everybody walks out after him. So now you're all outside standing in front of Elward's house. He says, well, the girl isn't one of them.
all right. Well, that leaves us back at square one.
Yeah, our leads are run dry.
Dry? Oh no.
Dry? This means we must go to the desert. No, I'm kidding.
Maybe I give the child the drink the guy had. It messed him up because he was Crag.
Okay. So what's going on here is these Scrags people were spies. They were living amongst us for years. We had no fucking idea. And now they're all dying and shit. And we're figuring it out. I'm sorry, buddy, you had to hear that, but your wife was betraying you all along.
You're outside of the house.
Okay.
He just yelled to nobody.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I still wouldn't tell him that.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm just hoping I'm not even in earshot, but if he overheard that, sorry to make your life even that much worse.
What are you doing in front of my house still? You hear him from inside the house. Just leave me alone.
All right. Let's go somewhere else. Jesus Christ.
Let's just go to the. Do you want to go back to Jeremy O'Dubs? Back to the scene of the first crime. Maybe like check out some stuff there. Talk to the bartender.
Why not?
See what's going on with that.
So, you guys walk sort of back through these windy streets, and as you are approaching the tavern, you notice that there's sort of a horse and a cart that are tied up about a half a block away from the tavern, and the horse is sort of starting to like kick and get like angsty, like it's been there for a while. It looks like it hasn't eaten in a few hours or so, like it's getting hungry. And by now the streets have all sort of cleared. It's starting to get dark. It's sort of early summer, and it's approaching like 9 p.m.
Hey guys, that horse over there. Do you think that could have belonged to the first guy who melted?
It's possible.
Well, I mean, even if it doesn't, I feel like
say he was a traveler. So.
we should feed that horse at the very least, and maybe like at least calm it down and take a look-see.
I offer horse water from the flask.
The horse drinks the... Is it water?
Well,
I got multiple flasks.
Okay. All right. Just checking.
Also, can I just roll to see if there's any, like, I'm sure there's, like, horse feed on that cart somewhere for the thing. Can I...
Yeah, why don't you just roll an investigation check for the cart?
I was just going to give it hardtack out of my backpack.
So is that a D20 or what?
Yeah, roll me a D20.
A 1.
Oh, god damn it. You go to start investigating the cart. As you sort of go around the side of it, sort of looking through bags and stuff, the horse shits on you.
Great.
I pat the horse affectionately on the neck, and I give it some hardtack from my bags.
The horse sort of like licks the side of your head, and you have like a big slobbery lick on the side,
Like a
and
cow lick.
the horse is a big cow lick, but it's a horse lick. The horse is very appreciative and starts like sniffing around you to see if there's any more.
Say we ask around the bar about the cubes.
I'm gonna search the cart.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just because I
He
feel.
got shit on.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, why don't you roll me a d20?
Okay. Let's,
Meanwhile, I'm cleaning
Was this
myself
an
off.
what kind of check is this?
Investigation.
Is that a thing?
Investigation.
Insight?
Hold on.
I think you mean like, yeah, there's only so many skills here.
Yeah, I think insight would be the
Or perception?
or perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Alright. Oh Jesus.
Oh, well, damn it. Mine
how's a
wouldn't have been a
7?
1. Oh, well.
A 7.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, it's only a card, right? It's not. It's
Yeah, I know. I'm not worried about it.
like a fucking
There's nothing
Enemy.
Denomicon or something. No, you look around it and sort of towards the back of the cart, underneath a blanket, there's a bag of feed. It says horse feed on it, and you take that and you sort of pour some out in front of the horse. It's like a mixture of hay and various sorts of like grains and stuff like you'd expect
Oats.
to feed a horse with. Yeah, some oats and like
can
little
I-
bits of dried apple.
Can I intimidate the horse?
Oh Jesus.
Sure. Roll
Why in
roll intimidate.
fuck's name would you do this?
I don't. What else we got? Do I just add my bonus to it?
That's what I mean. I technically...
Yeah, roll a d20 and then add your
Intimidation.
intimidate.
So, 22.
So the horse has just a big mouthful of feed, and he, startled and sort of backs up and rears up on its hind legs, makes a lot of neighing and whatnot, and bolts off down the street north, cart in tow.
Yes.
And it happens so quickly that like half of the stuff on the cart falls off and lands in the street, and there's just a pile of assorted gubbins mixed with horse shit.
Yes.
Yeah, why is this a victory?
Yeah, I don't know why you're happy about that. Now you have to deal with shitty goods instead of carted goods.
Yeah.
Maybe the horse could talk. Maybe if I intimidated him, he would reveal his secrets.
I don't understand.
That's not how that works.
this
No?
That's
player.
not how a horse works.
I'm sorry. I'm a gigantic talking dragon.
I mean, and I know I already got shit on, but it would have been a 7. Just saying.
Would that have worked? I don't think that would have passed it.
Probably not.
No, I mean if you rolled a 1, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Well, can we look through his stuff now that it's all scattered about?
I guess that's the plan.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who wants to roll?
Oh, anybody.
My insight and perception are both 0. So
I have a 6 perception and 1 insight. Is it perception or what?
Yeah, roll perception.
Roll a d20.
9 plus 6, 15.
Okay, excellent. So, among the stuff that's there, you see the horse just going off in the distance. He's gone. The horse is gone. The cart's gone. You've just got this pile of stuff, and among the stuff is sort of this satchel, and inside of the satchel you find 200 gold
Nice.
and
oh, cool. Scaring the horse is a bad idea. Oh, we shouldn't have done that.
I was gonna find this not shit covered, so...
The loot's now covered in poop.
yeah, the loot is completely.
It's a
Well, so am I,
metaphor.
and it doesn't matter. So
It's a metaphor for the dirty money we stole.
this guy just melted. He's dead. He doesn't need it.
It's grave robbing.
We don't know if that's the guy's cart or not.
You
Good point.
It's also a
this is
very
true.
good point.
It's just
You,
some random asshole's cart. We just scared the shit out of his
Yeah,
fucking
I scared away the
horse.
bartender's ride home.
God.
you find some broken weapons. You find like the hilt of a sword with sort of like a cracked blade that really wouldn't be of any use to anybody just because of the way it's weighted. You find a badly damaged but still usable longsword in among the junk. You also find a tiny box, and it looks sort of like a jewelry box. When you open it up, it's like a velvet or a satin, and right in the middle there's a perfectly square hole that's lined on the inside with the same material. And the lid is sort of the same way. So it looks like whatever would go in there would be a cube, and it would fit perfectly.
I wonder what could possibly go in there. But no.
It may remain a mystery forever.
I think
horse.
that's the thing about that is, alright, so I find all these items. I'm going to take the gold and the battered longsword and give the what is it, a music box or whatever, to Lademan.
Lademan opens the box and takes the obsidian cube out of his pocket, and sure enough, it fits perfectly inside of there, and when he closes the lid, it seals perfectly, and when he opens it up, it's still there. It's just a box.
Oh.
Okay, so it's a case.
Yeah, it's sort of a case.
Like a protective case, that way he doesn't have to carry it on him at all times.
You know it.
But wouldn't it be easier to carry the cube around without the case?
I mean, wouldn't it be easy to carry all of your jewelry around with you at all times? Why would you have a jewelry box?
I'm just thinking, how convenient is it to carry a cube at all?
That's why you would have the box.
Could we destroy one of them? Spitballing ideas here.
So Lademan says, let's turn in for the night. Have you guys gotten a place to stay? It's getting late. It's getting dark. We don't really want to be out on the streets at night. Do you have a room at the inn or something?
I do not personally.
I don't.
All right. You're all welcome. Let's go to my tent. We'll stay there for the night, and in the morning we'll figure something out.
Thanks for your hospitality, Elder.
So you all sort of go back to the market section, and all of the stalls have sort of shut their fronts, and like all of the windows and things are boarded up for the night, and all the tents are rolled down. And he walks over to the very nondescript dark blue tent, and again, just sort of out of the folds of it, he manages to open it up. Everybody files in behind him. He pulls out a few bedrolls and lays them out, one for everybody. He says, "What do we think the possibilities here are? It could be that they were spies and they were sent here, but it seems unlikely that they would be doing such mundane things.
They were just living their lives, kind of. Like, it seemed like they were just trying to blend in.
This woman had a husband and a child."
I think they were just sleeping, and like they needed some way of gathering intel, and I think if anything, they could have formed they could have caused a rebellion of sorts while they understood and learned intel of the people they were surrounded by, and then start murdering people or something. But then again, that could just be me being paranoid.
I feel like I missed a big part of exposition that would have been convenient at this moment, but I was somewhere else.
Oh, yeah, you.
Right, yes.
We believe that, Lademan explains everything that we know.
And I'm all caught up. Oh, yes,
all
of course, the crag. Why didn't I see it? I was so blind.
Yeah, you were kind of just like floating with us, like this past little ways. You were kind of just like tagging along.
Well, I was at the bar until the other body disappeared.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I know somebody who may know a bit more. He lives to the west, closer to the border, in a place called Bakerville. Bakerville is on the edge of the salt plains, the edge of civilization, you might say.
Yeah, I've heard it's the land of baked goods.
It's the opposite of baked goods.
God
they have
damn
pretzels there, but only because there's a lot of salt.
Pretzels rock.
How are they in the chip department?
British chips or American chips?
Both.
What's America?
Kilnstone chips or Silverstone chips?
Oh, makes sense.
Terrible chips. Terrible chips. It's all salt.
Chips of the crag.
My question: how do you know they were crags? You said you recognized them, yet no one see crag for 100 years. Who are you and how old?
I'm 115. If you must know.
Touche.
I am the son of many different races, and one of the benefits of that is you get some good genes. I've got some terrible genes too. I've got terrible body odor in the wintertime.
What?
TMI.
The winter?
The wintertime, yeah, I get sweaty under all of those clothes.
Is this
It just
Cruelman?
festers. This is Cruelman, yeah.
You guys never ask him these questions? You just
we
follow
should
his word?
Probably go to Bakerville because I'm getting a little grossed out.
On the other hand, you could go east. You go to Rock Crest. I hear there you may be closer to some of the defenses that Ku-Ruk has in place against the Crag, should they ever decide to break the treaty.
Personally,
I hear they...
Oh, go.
I hear the people in Rock Crest are also having an interesting celebration for the 100-year anniversary of the treaty.
Sell Bakerville to me. What do they got going on?
Why should I buy a condo?
I need a pamphlet on all of the events that they're planning for the celebration.
well, it sounds like what they got going on in Bakerville is that Cruel Man's got a friend who has a little bit of information. But if we go over east, we could get in the heat of the action and get some answers. Because I'm thinking these aren't the only two. So if they're closer to where the Crags people may be, I think we'll find some more bodies. We'll find some more cubes. We'll get some more answers without even needing to go to Bakerville. But it's up to you guys.
I say we go to the salt pans because it looks like a big thumbs up like Fonzie. Like, hey!
Did you say salt pants?
Salt plains. What? Did I?
Salt plains, okay.
No,
You said salt
seriously?
pants.
What? Who the hell wants to go to Bakersville? Say I. Who wants to go to Rockcrest? I.
Shit.
Well,
Okay.
what about Cruelman? We need his opinion, Matt.
Well, I unfortunately am not well enough to travel. I'm an
how
old man.
convenient.
And I'll be staying here. But I can tell you that if you go to Rockcrest, I've read on Fantasy Facebook that they will be having lots of festivities, some sponsored by the Ku-Ruk military.
Do it to it, Lars. Let's do it.
I'm all in.
A defense against the Craggers.
Defense against the
I
Crag.
think this is where we'll get most of our answers.
Cragger, please.
Cragger Rock.
To Rockcrest!
All right, so
Rockcrest.
You guys all lay down. Cruelman puts out the candle that he lit. Everybody goes to sleep. You guys have a nice
Wet dream.
long rest. Oh God! You wake up in the morning and Laryn is just covered in this.
Oh no! This isn't what really happened.
He's already covered in shit. Now he's covered in semen.
Oh God, no!
Yeah.
He's got to
What?
change his trousers.
Oh God!
Don't do this to me.
I can't.
So you guys wake up.
Can't.
Give
And,
ourselves a clean edit. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought we were trying
You,
to take season 2 family
Never.
style.
No.
We never said that. That was never a thing.
Nope.
You pack up your bedrolls. You roll them all up. Cruelman says, "Take them. I'm just one man. I'm no longer adventuring material. Good luck, my friends." And so now you have bedrolls to keep with you. I don't know if you already have bedrolls from your adventurers kits. Or
I've
what,
got
but
2 bedrolls.
What? One
There
for
you
each
go. You gotta
leg.
back up.
Dude, I can just layer them on top of each other. Extra padding.
And one
Yeah,
for
there you go.
Comfy
One-
sleeps.
It's like having a mattress topper.
Or if we find a
Except it's
companion.
more shit made of grass. Yeah, and if you find 3 different companions, you'll be set.
I like putting
You
one on my
guys-
legs and then one on my top, so I'm just like a bedroll worm and I just roll around at night. Call it
You
night
just
crawler.
trash the room because you're enormous.
Just
Cool.
thrashing about, just brah.
Yeah.
Not cool.
So you guys
Boo.
go back out to the market, Lademan sort of lets you out of the tent by, parting it in that weird way. And again, like, you go out through a different side of the tent than you thought you came in from, and it just sort of works. So you're standing in the market, and you sort of look up at the sun, and you head east. And when you get to the edge of the village, there's a big old post in the ground, and at the top of it, there's those signs where it's like arrow-shaped, and one way is pointing to the east, and it says Rock Crest. And then there's another one that's pointing to the west that says Haverton, and there's another one like directly underneath the one pointing east, and it's pointed slightly north, and it says Bakerville. And so you guys head out across a big old grassy field. The grass is sort of halfway up to your knees. So are you guys doing anything while you travel? Singing hiking songs?
Nope, no songs.
Personally, no.
I'm just periodically going like, "Hey, Lademan."
Oh yeah.
Just periodically, like as we
You're just
walk.
getting a real kick out of it?
Yeah, just like kind of just like chuckling to myself because I witnessed the first one happen, and after that I just like, ooh, that's fun.
It's just hilarious now.
I can play with that.
If anything, I feel like my character is keeping everyone on track and just like getting us to where we need to go.
Excellent.
Glad you're making fun of my nervous twitch and mental disorder.
Yeah, what's with your characters with like mental disorders?
I don't know. Maybe the creator has a mental disorder. Maybe
Yeah.
I mind my own business, Donnie.
I love.
So you guys,
Oh, sorry.
you guys are walking, or unless you want to like keep making some chit chat and making some goofs.
No, all I just wanted to say was I thought your name was initially supposed to be Danny, and I was gonna call you Donnie as a joke, but now it's just you're Donnie for good.
Yeah, Donnie. Yeah, it doesn't matter either way.
It's fine.
Still,
Now I just get to
Pretty
quote
good.
the Big Lebowski to you.
No more goofs.
So you guys,
you're out of your element, Donnie.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie!
Jesus.
you know that the walk from Haverton to Rock Crest is about 2 days. It's set on the sign with the big arrows, and so you guys head out across this big open plain. You can see for miles and miles, and you've been walking for a few hours. You left at probably 6 in the morning. You've each got some rations, which is fine.
What's the
You're
foliage
not really
like?
hungry.
Like the foliage, like what kind of plants?
It's fairly grassy. There's very little shrubs. There's no trees, and it's not like a bristly grass. It's sort of the fluffier sort of variety.
Okay.
And you're walking, and you sort of after a few hours you start to come amongst these rolling hills, and nestled in among the hills you see this sort of like a triangle poking up from behind one of the hills, sort of like a building, and it's in the distance, and you can just about see the top of it.
I continue to approach to observe what this is.
It's a little bit more northernly than your path. You're gonna deviate from your path and sort of head up towards this thing.
I mean, yeah, I will scout out if they don't want to follow, but it's up to them if they follow my like. I'm just gonna just jog out that way and get a better look.
All right. So you sort of make your way up to the top of one of these rolling hills. Behind the hill, as you go up it, you can sort of make out the shape of this big triangular building, sort of like a church. And off in the distance, you can hear like a clicking noise. And it's very faint, and it's hard to sort of make out, but it's like a clicking or a tapping, and it's very, very fast, and it's sort of irregular.
I wave to the other two,
Hi.
kind of I signal to I'm like crouched down looking at this. I signal to them to try to like wave them to come over, but also like to keep it down. Because I think that this merits their opinion. Because I'm like, do we observe this or do we continue?
I crouch and come up to the crest of the hill.
I mean, and I don't need to tell him what's going on. It's pretty obvious. Like as Matt said, it's audible. What the hell? So I give Donnie a strange look. Like I shrug.
I crouch as much as I can with -1 stealth and being 7 feet tall.
What do you guys think of this?
I try to whisper, but my voice is always gonna be.
Why do you like it? Oh my god.
What do you think of this?
That's more of what my character's voice should have been all along, but I don't want to destroy my vocal
Oh,
cords.
you're gonna feel it tomorrow.
It looks like some sort of worship center.
I mean, the clicking noise, obviously.
That's just like weird and annoying.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
It almost sounds like a really faint dripping water, but it's much more quick than you'd expect dripping water to be. And as you got closer, you can sort of tell that it's not just one source of the noise. But what's interesting is it doesn't sound like it's coming from like an animal or something. It doesn't sound like a bug. It definitely sounds artificial.
Alright,
I don't like it.
I need to figure out what the fuck is causing this sound. Is anyone coming with me? Let's make it like kind of a base camp.
Anyone around this building? Are there any people?
You can't see anything, no.
I'm going. Alright, who's with me? I mean, if you don't want to come, you can just stay here and we'll be right
Yeah, I'm
back.
coming along.
Well, I guess I'm outnumbered.
Alright. Well, we'll be right back. I'm just kidding.
So, you guys are going to go down to it.
Our approach.
I sit back in the field and I'm just picking grass like in Little League. I'm just in the outfield and just...
You gonna do it quietly? You just gonna walk up to it? You gonna how are you gonna do this?
I'm gonna try to approach with some kind of stealth and just be like sneaky. And seeing how we don't see anybody, I just want to approach the town and not be seen.
Is it? It's a building.
It's not for what it's not a town. It's just one
my fault.
building, and it's sort of shaped like a church. And
So
as you get closer to it, as you sort of make your way down the hill, the clicking gets louder.
Always a good sign.
It's coming from the building, I think.
it's definitely coming from this chapel-ish building. And what's going on with the doors? Open or
So
closed?
we see the church, we see the steeple, but where are all the people?
God damn it. No, really though. What's up with the doors, the entrance?
So the front door is closed. It's sort of a set of double doors, and they're very large. And as you get closer, you notice that the building isn't built like a normal building. The ticking or clicking or ticking noise is getting very loud now. It's sort of a dull roar of clicking. But what you notice is that the building isn't staying completely still. It's sort of moving a little bit, and not like moving around, but like it seems like the edges of it are sort of a little bit wiggly. And
Did we bring the cubes with us, by the way?
yeah, you've got the cubes.
Okay, I take out one of the cubes.
And
I
it's
guess I have
definitely
one.
not bugs. Like, it's not just bugs covering the whole building.
You can tell it's definitely not. It's not the noise that you'd expect to hear from any sort of insect.
Bugs.
And not for this sustained amount of time.
Bugs is the farthest thing from my mind. All right, I'm almost afraid to approach it any further, but I'm gonna say,
Hey, Donnie, I'll open the door and you toss the cube in.
Whoa, like,
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
just let it leave my hand. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna try to move. I might move towards the door and see if it reacts at all to being.
there's like
Alright,
the strange,
whatever.
strange, valuable artifact we're trying to find the source of. It's like, let's just hug it in this building. What could happen?
So
Okay.
you're getting up close and personal with this building.
Yeah, I move close to wherever I think the entrance is, with the cube in my left hand, sort of like outstretched a little bit, like sort of like a if someone holding a candle almost, or like it's in my palm though, and I'm holding it out, like leading the way with it.
So you get probably 2 or 3 yards from the building, and what you notice, it's most certainly a church, but the clicking noise that you heard is actually the sound of hundreds and hundreds and thousands of tiny little gears. This building is covered in very intricate mechanical things. Just like lots of these tiny little brass and silver and other kinds of gears, and they're spotless. So clearly it is to some degree well maintained.
Is there space in between the gears?
They're all sort of turning and moving back and forth, and there's like little pendulums and things like that.
I mean, are there like little openings and stuff in between the gears?
Yeah.
I shove my dagger in between a bunch of the gears.
Oh god. I want you to roll a d20 for me.
what I want to know is, what the hell does gears and churches have to do with each other?
A 12?
Steampunk.
So you sort of stick your dagger in, and you just hear this grinding noise, and it chips a little bit of your dagger, not in like a really substantially damaging way, but like you could tell that the gears are very hard. 1 or 2 of the gears sort of pop off the side of it because they've sort of like ground to a halt, and you hear just like this, like you disturbed the machinery a little bit, and at that moment you hear sort of a tick 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 from inside of the building, and the doors sort of make a noise and slide open, or swing open, and standing in the doorway is what looks to be some sort of cleric or a priest, but he is an automaton made out of a very polished brass clockwork, and obviously moving like a robot, and he sort of turns and makes a hard right 90-degree turn and walks over to where the gears were stabbed.
I slipped the cube back in my robes while this was happening.
It's almost as if he doesn't even see you. He's just sort of working like he's blind, and he sort of walks over to where the gears are. He holds up his hands to the wall where the gears were, and like little tools sort of come out of him and repair it. And when he's finished and he puts his hands down, he turns and starts walking away, but you can see from behind him there's something not quite right. So all of the gears and like little levers and pendulums and things are all working in relative unison, but his seem to be off. Like the ticking isn't as regular as you'd expect it to be. He's ticking very loudly in a way that you wouldn't expect some sort of device to click. And you could see that his right leg is maybe in some way damaged. It's sort of not moving in a natural, fluid.
Is he a warforged?
No, he's something that you've never seen before.
I follow him in through the door.
The doors close behind you and swing shut.
Donnie, open the door.
Do I hear him?
Yeah, you can hear him, although it's kind of difficult to hear over the sound of all of the ticking. Exactly.
I'm gonna look around in here. if need be, I'll just shout for Ku, and he can get me out.
Oh God.
Who know who to call?
Is that your deity?
No, that's me.
No.
No, my deity's Bahamut, but I mean, I'll call for our moving wall buster.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And he'll break me out pretty quick. So I'm gonna take a peek around, and I get out a lantern from my.
Laryn looks back at me. I'm
kit.
just like mildly flexing, just like not showing off, but like enough.
Okay, is there light inside here, or is it dark?
It's not dark, but it's not bright. It's sort of dim.
Okay. I have my lantern now, I guess.
Are you gonna take a look around on the inside?
Yeah, is he like? Where did our gear filled friend go?
So
Wally.
he sort of made his way up the center of this building, and he went up to the front, and he turns around and sort of sits down in a chair right in the middle of what you would imagine to be the altar. And as he sits down, there's sort of a grinding noise, and as he's sitting, his right leg sort of twitches periodically.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna look around, and I'll come back to the altar later.
All right. Well, why don't you roll me a d20?
Boss battle.
7.
So you look around, and you're obviously on what looks like the inside of a church. It's very sparse. There's maybe 5 rows of pews. All are made out of very sturdy-looking wood.
Pew, pew,
And in these pews, there are more machines that look like him. They don't really look like priests. They look like just sort of like regular... Well, I like the non-priest version of him.
They're like automatons without the Pope hat.
Yeah, kind of.
I make my way to the altar and examine the altar.
Pray to the robot god.
So, as you get very close to the front, you start hearing some noises from behind you that sound like something spinning up. Like you just move the mouse on your computer and the hard drive's turning on. And you start hearing lots of clicking noises. And when
I look behind me.
you look behind you, and you see all of the gears on all of these automatons start to move, like they're waking up.
I genuflect.
Praise
Okay.
robot Jesus.
I don't genuflect. I go up on the altar and check the altar quick.
You don't find anything particularly useful on the
Okay.
altar.
I jump off the altar and sprint back up the aisle
Okay.
and go to the door. I open it.
Okay. Now you're outside.
All right. So there's not really anything in there besides a bunch of automatons, almost. They look like they're supposed to be like a congregation and sort of like a church. And once I started approaching the altar, they all turned on, and I don't know what they were gonna do, but I got out of there before they could do it.
Alright, this place is fucking creepy anyway. Let's get out of here.
Well worth the diversion. And the derail.
I'm wondering, when I was in there, did I see any like cube-shaped holes on the altar?
There was no cube-shaped holes. You did notice that the sort of torsos of these automatons were not the sort of same like gear-like material. It was sort of like a core almost, like Iron Man style. They weren't a ball of energy or anything, but it was sort of sealed off.
A physical core.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that one of them was injured leads me to believe that they're capable of combat, and it got hurt. Thoughts?
Or someone capable of combat just came over and hit him.
But why would they do that unless it...
It does kind of doesn't sit well with me. This whole thing.
All right, so what do you guys do?
Oh, I waltz into the place like, come at me, bro.
Still doing the voice.
None of the
Whoops.
automatons react, except for the priest-looking one, who stands up. Why don't you roll me a d20?
Do I have any bonuses or no? It's a 13.
It's
What's your
initiative.
insight?
Oh, insight would be a 1, so I have 14.
Okay, so you are standing here, and you're about to sort of go up to the altar, and as you're sort of approaching it, you notice that even though the automaton is standing up, it's like his right leg is just like having a spasm. Like every now and then it sort of just like jerks to the side. And you could see from underneath the very edge of the sort of robe that the automaton is wearing, there's a loose gear. And it's sort of jiggling a little bit. And you wonder if that might be noteworthy. It's sort of damaged, like it got hit or something, and the gear is physically bent.
I bury my sickle in his physical core.
All right.
You see this weak, injured Popebot who's leading his masses.
The Popebot.
What's the first thing you do? I stab him in the robot heart.
Well, I'm thinking to myself, I can, God, I don't need to do the voice. I was thinking I could either tighten or loosen the thing, and you know what?
Instead,
I'm
I'm
just
sure
gonna
Mark-
end him. Well, I thought
Well, I mean,
the
it's
whole
bad.
reason we're here is to just kill some automatons. Let's see if they even get violent. They could just, if they're all peaceful, then I'm sorry I just killed your pastor.
But I like how you're like, I have two options here. Let me just murder it instead of thinking of those two options.
Yeah.
I've
I pick up the two gears from outside that came out of
Initially.
that initially came out of the wall.
Okay.
And are you doing this right away?
I mean, you could stop me
Laryn?
if you see me about to stab it with my sickle.
I kind of stay your hand. Like, hang on a second, and I go up to the automaton and I attempt to replace the broken gear with one of the gears from outside.
As you approach the priestly automaton, one of the ones from sort of the congregation, the nearest one to you, you turn around and it's just sort of behind you, and it's just watching down.
It's just like watching me.
It's watching you very, very carefully. There's maybe a dozen or so automatons in the room that are all sitting, and they're all just facing straight ahead, except for this one, which is it just appeared right next to you, looking down.
Okay, I try to replace the gear.
Roll me. Let's see.
Dex.
Roll me a heal.
Oh.
Has a 12.
And what's your modifier?
It's a 1.
Okay, so 13. So you...
No, it's an 11. It was an 11 roll, so I gave you the full number.
Oh, I see, okay.
12.
So you jiggle at the loose gear, and the screw that's holding it on sort of just pops off, and you put the new gear on, and it doesn't fit perfectly. It obviously isn't the perfect gear, but it fits, and you take the sort of screw and you manage to get it back on there. You sort of back up a little bit when you finish, and the priestly automaton takes his right foot and raises it up, and then straight outwards, and then back down, sort of flexing it out. The automaton that was next to you goes back and sits down where it originally was. The priestly automaton gestures for you to sit in an empty spot in the front row, to all three of you.
Have we been accepted in the robot church?
You know, I'm gonna pass. I'll just stand back because honestly, from what you said earlier, it's not like these things can see us. So I'm gonna just pretend like he's only acknowledging Donnie.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit down.
I don't think they're T-Rexes. I don't think their vision's based on movement. I think they just weren't reacting to us.
Well, I'm not reacting to them.
Because they all reacted when he came up on the altar, and then when he got close to the Popebot, the other one flew out of nowhere.
Like defensively, like protecting.
Yeah, they don't do that as I'm about to stab him in his friggin' core, but...
Well, I mean, I stayed your hand.
True.
I went pop a seat right up front.
Yeah, I sit down next to the dragon.
Those two sit down, I do not.
Hoping for a robot wedding.
The priest sort of looks at you for a moment, or it faces in your direction for a moment, and then sort of turns away. It does this sort of weird thing, and he goes up to the altar. He sort of makes some hand movements, and you hear like the sound of like an organ playing, and you don't really know where it's coming from, but you imagine that maybe it's the building itself making these noises. After a moment, all of the automatons stand up. They all sort of shake hands with one another. The robot that was sitting next to you sort of stands up and offers to shake each of your hands.
I do
as well. I really hope this is a robot wedding. I'm so excited.
It's not a robot wedding.
It's the sign of peace.
Yeah, but like
the robots. The automatons all sit back down. All of the congregation robots sort of spin down, right? Like it's like they went into sleep mode. Yeah, right? And the ticking dies down. And what you notice is now all of the ticking noises sort of seem to be in sync. And so when this whole production is finished, the priestly robot turns towards the back of the building. He gets something, and he puts it in his hand. He walks up to Donnie. He holds out his hand like he did when he was repairing the side of the building. And he holds it up in front of your pocket where you've got the cube. And he just holds it there for a second, and you hear him sort of ticking away, and he sort of tilts his robot head to one side. He lifts up his other hand, and in his hand he's got a little book, and he flips the book over to a page, and
is the Bible written in binary?
No, it's not. It's hold on a second. I'm looking at character sheets. It's written in Elven.
Ooh, I know this language.
I can read that.
Me too.
Yeah.
The page on it has a tiny square. Underneath it, in Elven, it says that this is a tiny device used for channeling distant magic. It contains no magical properties of its own. It's simply used as sort of a receiver. But, roughly translated, it says that these devices are unique to the person that carries them, and they're extremely rare. The thing is, they channel energy from a great distance, but the person holding it has no control over the energy.
Where did a robot learn Elvish?
It's actually C-3PO.
Oh, of course.
As you finish reading this,
human-cyborg relationship.
the robot sort of goes back up to the altar and sits down in the chair from before, and you hear him sort of spin down. And the front doors of the church open back up, and you can see the sun outside again. You walk out into the sun. You sort of accept that what you've done there is all there is to offer in the place. When you go back outside, which of you has the highest perception?
Nope.
Currently 6.
Yeah, it's you.
Why don't you roll a perception check?
19. That's with it included.
So you notice that among the grass, there is what looks to be like these dead patches where there's no grass. You walk up to one of them and kick away a little bit of dirt, and you notice that there's trees. Or at least there used to be trees, and it's sort of like the dead, rotten stump of where a tree used to be. You notice that the trees don't look like they were cut down. It looks like something happened to them.
Like an explosion or magic?
It was something. Does somebody want to do a history check to see if they know anything about this?
I have...
Yeah.
Oh, what do you got?
I have a 5.
Yeah, me too, so go for it.
How's a 19 sound?
That's perfect.
Sounds great.
Sounds like
So, you know that this place, long ago, hundreds of years ago, used to be a dense forest, and all of the trees in the forest were destroyed by frost that covered over the land. And this used to be the home of some elves, and they're no longer here.
When people die, they come back as zombies. When elves die, they come back as robots?
No, but you think that maybe
Do they dream of electric sheep?
Ooh.
they may. You think that maybe the elves had at one point, or one of the elves had created this for whatever reason, but it was ultimately the only thing that survived when the frost from the north came many years ago.
So this is like sort of like a temple of sorts. I don't know why, like the exact purpose, but they seem to have records. Like these robots are almost like keepers of like an old book with like elven records in them. So it seems like this magic is more of like an elven thing.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like a very elven thing to have a church, but it's also very old, and you're wondering if maybe it wasn't always a church.
I don't know about you guys, but I think we should keep going heading to Rock Crest.
Yeah, you've sort of exhausted this, so do you guys want to continue on your way?
I mean, just hold on to that thing you found, but yeah, let's keep going.
Fair enough for me.
Everyone, it's me, Matt. This week's episode was a little bit more of a challenging one, sort of starting to leave town, head off into the wilderness. Next episode gets really into that. I think next episode actually has our first real bit of combat. I'd like to thank the hosts for this week's episode, Bren, AJ, Doug, and myself. The cover art for our podcast was done by Ian McAfee. Our theme music was composed and assembled by the friendly guy that lets you skip him in line at the checkout, Josh Stitt. Distribution is powered by the fine podcasting software at pinecast.com. We'd love to get feedback from you, the listener. You can do that by clicking the link in the episode description or visiting our website at abtd.pinecast.co. Our next episode is going to be released on Halloween. Ooh, it's very spooky. It's not Halloween themed. We recorded that particular episode quite a while ago, actually. So, not going to be terribly spooky. But if you're not already subscribed, you can do so by visiting us on iTunes. All of the links are in all of the right places at our website, again at abtd.pinecast.co. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.